Not a problem.
Switch up!
That body, human. Need to take a look. Sores, tumors, ligatures showing restraint at wrists and ankles, track marks for repeated injection sites. Test subject, victim of experimentation.
Any idea whether what they gave him is contagious?
No, appears to be cultivation of cancerous cells, aggravated by torture, malnourishment, not a virus. Probably testing vectors to attack genophage. Primary goal, not infection of humans. Humans useful as test subjects, genetically diverse, enables exploration of treatment modalities.
Experimenting on humans? That kind of crap is what makes Cerberus start to seem like a good idea.
Hey, thanks.
Never used humans myself. Disgusting, unethical, sloppy. Used by brute force researchers, not thinkers. No place in proper science. Krogan use of humans, unsurprising.
I imagine you had to do some live subject testing while developing the new genophage.
No, unnecessary. Limited tests to simulations, corpses, cloned tissue samples. High-level tests on Varen. No tests on species with members capable of calculus. Simple rule, never broke it.
Wouldn't something native to Tuchanka work better? Varen, maybe?
Yes, human experiments strictly high-level, concept testing. Native Tuchanka fauna likely used later in development stages. Wise to delay use of Varen until necessary. Powerful bite.
Always makes me crack up.
What can you tell about their experiments from looking at the body?
Position of tumors suggests deliberate mutation of adrenal pineal glands, modifying hormone levels, counterattack on glands hit by genophage. Clever.
Clever? That sounds bad.
Do you think they're close to curing the genophage?
Can't say. Need more data. Conceptually sound, though. Genophage alters hormone levels, could repair damage with hormonal counterattack.
How are humans more genetically diverse?
More variable. Peaks and valleys, mutations, adaptations, far beyond other life. Makes humans useful test subjects. Larger reactions to smaller stimuli.
I know we can look much different from each other, but Asari have a wide range of skin tones.
Blue
No,
and blue?
ignore superficial appearance, down to genetic code.
Buddha.
Biotic abilities, intelligence levels. Can look at random Asari, Krogan, make reasonable guess. Humans, too variable to judge. Outliers in all species, of course. Geniuses, idiots. But human probability curve offers greater overall variety.
Now we've got 2 reasons to shut this place down.
Focus on mailing. Too late to help the dead.
First reason is just horrible architecture. Okay.
But where'll I go?
If I flee, I might trip over the dozen Krogan I killed to get here. I think I'll take my chances.
You killed our youngest and weakest human.
Appears they discovered Malin's work.
The surviving races will frighten their children with tales of what the Blood Pact did to the Turians. The Asari will scream as their citadel plunges into the sun. We will keep Salarians as slaves and eat their eggs as a delicacy. If you lack the wisdom to flee, then you will be the first of billions to be crushed beneath our might. For where'll I go?
You talk too much.
Oh boy, you never
See?
shut up.
The human cannot hit a simple
Too
target.
much. You shouldn't have been so fired up during your speech. Too much intense
shields are
talking,
down.
eh?
Just the thing to help.
You
Could burn nicely.
don't get so intense.
Have a nice trip.
It's a really nice picture of Jacob activating his biotic crap while holding down a machine gun?
Switching sidearms.
Running as fast as you can. Do you think you'll make it? You're running, calling my name. You don't get separated. The clan speaker, though. Such a flaming soul. Impassionate speeches. Was practical and far from all that. The burning heart.
Labs likely through there. Can smell antiseptic. Hint of dead flesh.
Great. Sounds fun.
I'm here!
Not a problem.
Hey! Stop it. That's chair where they give birth. It's not in a good shape. We call it akushar. Can't call it in English. Birthing chair, whatever.
Active console may contain useful data. One moment. Genetic sequences. Hormone mutagens still steady. Protein chains, live tissue, clone tissue. Very thorough. Standard treatment vectors. Avoiding scorched earth immunosuppressants to alter hormone levels. Good. Hate to see that.
What was it like working on the genophage modification project?
Best years of my life. Wake up with ideas, talk over breakfast, experiments all morning. Statistical analysis in afternoon, run new simulations during dinner, set data runs to cook overnight. Laughter, ego, argument, passion, galaxy's biggest problem, massive resources thrown at us. Got anything we wanted.
Do you keep in touch with your old team members?
No. All changed with deployment. Made test drop on isolated Krogan clan, hit rest of Tuchanka when results were positive. End of project. Separate ways. Watching it end, watching birth rates drop. Personal. Private. Not appropriate for team.
Sounds like you were pretty important. How'd you go from that to running a clinic on Omega?
Wanted to heal people. Good use of last decade. Something easy. No ethical concerns. Understand rationale for modified genophage, right choice. Still, hard to sleep some nights.
The expected age of Solarian living is 40. Mordin is 50. Considering the human expected age at this point is 80, the equivalent of human years for Mordin would be 100 years old. Percentage-wise.
Most people wouldn't be so casual about developing a sterility plague, Mordin.
Not developing, modifying, much more difficult, working within confines of existing genophage, 100 times the complexity. Errors unacceptable, could cause total sterility, malignant tumors, could even reduce effectiveness, worse than doing nothing. Had to keep Krogan population stable, 1 in 1,000, perfect target, optimal growth. Like gardening.
Gardening! Oh my god! Without Wrex, Krogan are basically like Russians, and I wouldn't mind if we could introduce something that would garden their population too. I mean, we have to shoot their soldiers anyway, and eventually, so might as well remove the middleman.
Pretty it up however you like. You're talking about murdering millions.
No, murdered no one. Altered fertility, prevented fetal development of nervous system. have killed many, Shepard. Many methods. Gunfire, knives, drugs, tech attacks. Once with farming equipment, but not with medicine.
So,
You're saying you were working just as hard to keep their population from falling?
Yes, could have eradicated Krogan. Not difficult. Increased mutation to degrade genetic structure further. Chose not to. Rachni extinction tragic. Didn't want to repeat. All life precious. Universe demands diversity.
Sweeties! The first diversity in my video games! Again, like, good old times when you didn't have neonates in making commands for every game's release. Remember when it was you killed Mecha Hitler in Wolfenstein and there were no protests? And recently, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, there were protests of alt-right that killing natives is a feminazi power fantasy or something like that. Like, it's not a fantasy. They lost the war. We defeated them. So, my point is that at this point, when you replay older games, you see that there's a lot of phrases that would be taken out of context now, and the gamergaters, which are still some periodically resurface, would have yelled that this is a wokeism propaganda, while saying diversity is good and reforms are needed and that natism is bad is not and shouldn't be controversial. Okay? Genocide bad, duh.
How can you agree with using the genophage, Mordin? Look at what happened to Tuchanka as a result.
State of Tuchanka not due to genophage. Nuclear winter caused by Krogan before Salarians made first contact. Krogan choices. Refuse truce during Krogan rebellions. Expand after Rachni wars. Splinter after genophage. Genophage medical, not nuclear. No craters from virus. Damage caused by Krogan, not Salarians, not me.
So if the Krogan banded together and formed a united government, you'd welcome that.
Yes, United Krogan saved Galaxy, destroyed Rachni. Genophage not punishment, simply alters fertility to correct for removal from hostile environment.
2 points. First, Krogan are largely based on Soviet Union. United Soviet Union defeated the natives and stuff. Yet, the problems with the Soviets invading Czechoslovakia, Hungary, other nations, even Japan, after they capitulated, parts of Kuril Islands were illegally annexed by Russians. And this wasn't due to like the West forcing them to. There was legit crap that Kremlin and Moscow pulled off, colonizing and going for imperialism in an era where empires already collapsed. And always talking about American imperialism while themselves trying to return former Russian colonies like Finland and Poland, which fought to the death just not to be annexed by the Soviets. My point is that if you remove like the overpopulation and thing, then it's just like exactly the Soviet history. Shock troops against Rachni, the natives, and then became an enemy themselves. Krogan rebellions, when they started attacking former allies, will sound very close to home. And the whole Rachni wars and rebellions kinda sound like Cold War that followed World War II.
The effects on Tuchanka are still your responsibility. You upgraded the virus that kept them in barbarism.
Krogan committed war crimes, refused to negotiate. Turian defeat not complete. Krogan could have recovered, attacked again. Conventional war too risky. Krogan forces too strong. Genophage was only option. Krogan forced Genophage, us or them. No apologies for winning. Wouldn't have minded peaceful solution.
We're not gonna find Malin staring at consoles. Come on.
So... like, I'm with Mordin on that. No, he will have...
Sure thing.
not really a change of heart. We'll see. But... I like the no apologies for winning part. Like, my country, Ukraine, we were fighting against both communists and natives. And we were almost wiped out as a result. Half of our population, 20 million out of 40, died in 20th century. That's, yep, more than double the Holocaust. About 10 million died in several holodomors, starvation, plagues, man-made famine, orchestrated by Russians. And about the same number was killed in World War II, being killed by both sides. Russians putting Ukrainian soldiers to drown in Dnieper, forcing it instead of properly commanding, shelling their own troops, using people as meat and cannon fodder.
This should come in handy.
Just overall bad command. War crimes against their own people alike. And the Germans weren't much better. I like the quote in Chernobyl, the Western TV series. Russian boys, German boys, more soldiers, more famine, more bodies. But we won, in the end. That's what matters.
Dead Krogan, female. Tumors indicate experimentation. No restraint marks. Volunteer. Sterile Werelock female willing to risk procedures. Hoped for cure. Pointless. Pointless waste of life.
With Mordin, what happened was that he rationalized what they'd done, the sterility plague, by saying that these things, like this blown out stuff, the nuclear winter, that wasn't done by the Genophage. But this all is Krogan's own fault. But this is on Solarians.
I didn't expect you to be disturbed by the sight of a dead Krogan.
What? Why? Because of Genophage work? Irrelevant. No. Causative. Never experimented on live Krogan. Never killed with medicine. Her death, not my work. Only reaction to it. Goal was to stabilize population. Never wanted this. Can see it logically. But still unnecessary. Foolish. Waste of life. Hate to see it.
I didn't think you'd had much direct contact with things like this. Did you come to Tuchanka after dropping your plague?
Yearly recon missions. Water, tissue samples. Ensure no mistakes. Superiors offered to carry it on. Refused. Need to see it in person. Need to look. Need to see. Accept it as necessary. See small picture. Remind myself why I run a clinic on Omega. Rest, young mother. Find your gods. Find someplace better.
I didn't expect spirituality from you, Mordin.
Genophage modification project altered millions of lives, then saw results. Ego, humility, juxtaposition, frailty of life, size of universe. Explored religions after work completed. Different races. No answers. Many questions.
Sounds like you were trying to deal with your guilty conscience. The doctor who killed millions.
Modified genophage project great in scope, scientifically brilliant, but ethically difficult. Krogan reaction visceral, tragic, not guilty, but responsible. Trained as doctor, genophage affects fertility, doesn't kill, still caused this. Hard to see big picture behind pile of corpses.
Indeed.
Can you really just rationalize it all away? How do you justify it?
Wheel of life. Popular Solarian concept. Similar to human Hinduism in focus on reincarnation. Appealing to see life as endless. Fix mistakes in next life. Learn, adapt, improve. Refuse to believe life ends here. Too wasteful. Have more to offer. Mistakes to fix. Cannot end here. Could do so much more.
Enough about your spiritual life. Anything useful on the body?
Minimal insight into experiments. Gene therapy. Risking cancer aiming for benign mutation. Krogan research is ruthless. Risking own clan's women for new data. Disgusting. Short-sighted. Wrong.
The candidate was wrong, the candidate was right. There isn't a neutral option, there's only the one that ends a conversation. If I say the genophage was wrong, I'll have one more option, so I'll choose that. We hear what Shepard says.
Infecting the entire species with the sterility plague isn't much better in my book.
Had to be done. Rachni wars, Krogan rebellions, all pointed to Krogan aggression. So many simulations, effects of Krogan population increase, all pointed to war, extinction, genophage or genocide. Save galaxy from Krogan. Save Krogan from galaxy.
So you're willing to sterilize a species based on the evidence of a few simulations?
Yes, millions of data points, years of arguments, countless scenarios, all noted Krogan fragmentation as dangerous, no unified culture to support repopulation. Would have been war, Turians and humans destroying Krogan utterly. Genophage was better, saved lives.
You could have cured the genophage instead. Brought hope to the Krogan. They'd have rejoiced.
Assumes human reaction. Krogan stimulus response different. Harsh environment, take chance to fight, flee. Would have caused chaos in Tuchanka. Victor would have war economy, bloodthirsty army. Galactic expansion, only logical outcome. More war. Genophage saved lives, war would have ended.
Will you say the phrase here? I wonder.
When you put it that way, you did the right thing. Not many would have the guts to look at the results and own it.
Not easy. Sometimes wish I wasn't as intelligent. Choice would have fallen on someone else. Not my problem. Fool's wish. Had to be me. Others might have gotten it wrong.
Yep.
Ready to go, Shepard.
I did playthroughs where I cured the genophage. Once where I made choices that led to the end of all rational voices of the Krogan. For example, take like modern situation in Russia, where every opposition that's not even worse at fascism than the current Putin's regime is either dead or exiled. There were a lot of people in Russia who had the same ideas as Wrex or Eve later in the third game. A lot of those that wanted to stand up to the oligarchic fascist regime. Politkovskaya was poisoned. Poison didn't work, they shot her. Nemtsov was just shot. Litvinenko was poisoned in London with a nuclear poison that was only Polonium 101 or whatever number. It's nuclear fuel. You can't really have access to it unless you're an assassin from the country that has nuclear power. Sanctioned by governments. You don't find nuclear fuel randomly laying around. What else? Garrick Kasparov, who's half Jewish, half Armenian, so not ethnically Russian, but he identifies as Russian, as his mother country is Russia. He's in exile. He won't be led back to Russia. Others are imprisoned. I don't support Navalny, the current, as I'm recording this, opposition leader in Russia, because he said a lot of actually fascist stuff. Like, he just wants a better Russian Reich. You know, like those quote-unquote good natives that were trying to stage a coup against Hitler. Would you support Third Reich being ruled by someone more competent than Adolf? I wouldn't. We might have lost if someone like Erwin Rommel actually went with the coup, killed Hitler, removed the corruption, and actually won the nuclear race. Nazi Germany with atomic bombs? Fuck no. And that's why I don't like Russian anti-corruption activists. I only support Russian anti-war activists. If they say that all Russia needs to be strong and good is to remove the corrupt oligarchs, then they're fucking fascists. They need to stop invading their neighbors and murdering people, doing war crimes. Someone is okay with war crimes as long as the war criminals steal less budget money. They're not much better.
You killed the Blood Pack guards.
Yep.